Hey everyone, and welcome back to Kio World, your soul podcast for inner peace. My name is Kristina, and I'm very grateful and excited that you are the first time here in the podcast show or that you are back. And today we will speak about one of my favorite topics about discipline and how discipline can really change your life. I will share with you today how and in which areas you can transform your whole life through being disciplined. I will share with you with what most people struggle, how to overcome those struggles where we all would love to procrastinate, and how I did it in my life. Because some people really think that certain people are born with discipline. The truth is, however, that we all have it as same as easy or as same as hard as other people, especially if it comes to those inner qualities like building discipline, right? We all need to do the inner work to build discipline in ourselves to see it then in the world around us. So I will go with you today through three main pillars, through three main areas. And the first area is yourself, the connection you have to yourself. And with that, I will include all the topics from how you show up day to day for yourself, how do you structure your day, what do you have for routines, and how can you build discipline in that. The second part is that we will look from yourself to the relationships that you have to other people and how we are challenged here, and what does discipline really actually means when it comes to the relationship with others, right? Like how can we transform through discipline the relationship to the world around us? And the third pillar is that I will talk with you about the discipline of your mission. Whatever your mission is in life, right? Whatever it's here about your soul purpose, about being successful, about earning more money, about finding the right job for you, right? We will speak about that, and I will share with you practical tools that you can really do to build discipline, to stay disciplined, and by that, hopefully, then to find inner peace within you and to build a more healthier life with the right discipline. And also, I will, yeah, of course, share with you what discipline sometimes means, right? It's not only always doing more and more and more. Discipline is actually also, especially from the yogic tradition, it has a different meaning. And yeah, we will also explore that. So, I'm very glad that you're here. Take a deep breath in through your nose, as always, to start this episode together. And then take this deep breath, hold your breath for a moment, exhale, make yourself very comfortable. Take your favorite drink or take your favorite food, whatever you're doing right now. I hope you will enjoy the next moments and the next time we have here together through a lot of inspiration. So let's dive in. So, when it comes to ourself, and this is also why it is called self discipline, right? I personally in my life get very often mirrored back that I'm a very disciplined person. And I am a very disciplined person. However, I was not born being disciplined. I really trained that over a time. And the truth is that if you feel that you're in the moment not disciplined at all, then we need always to be very realistic that the way to our dreams, to our goals, is a step by step process. And discipline is built every day, step by step, through small decisions, through small steps that we are doing from the moment we are waking up. And then we really create that momentum. And then at one part, discipline becomes a part of your personality. And of course, we all are going through different life experiences, right? So there is, of course, in my case, for example, also a lot of trauma behind my discipline, right? Because I was just also forced very early in my life to look after myself and to be strong, to take care of myself, at one point also to take way much care about my siblings than I think I should have done as a sibling. And through all these things, I just took on also the role. Like discipline was just something like I needed to do in a way to survive, right? And this is why I think some, habits that we have in our life, they just come also through a life experience. And then they are shaping and manifesting, of course, the reality that we are in. So before we even dive more into the self exploration of how you can be more disciplined, I think it's very important to understand what does it mean to be disciplined, right? What is actually discipline? And as you know, or you maybe don't know, in the moment we are exploring the 10 yamas and niyamas, the 10 paths from the yogic tradition. And we are talking today about tapas, about a way of how you can build this, the way of tapas in yoga, this relationship to yourself. And tapas means in Sanskrit discipline. We very often think that when we think about discipline, that we should do more or that we should be harder to ourselves. The truth is, discipline means making the right decisions at any time with the right awareness and the right consciousness for you. So, discipline doesn't mean always to make your life harder, right? It's actually a other thing, right? Like discipline means tapas, and tapas also means fire in yoga. So we need to have this strong fire in ourselves that is really illuminating everything that is not for us. For example, eliminating your procrastination, eliminating your addictions, eliminating your self doubt, your self worries, how you maybe speak to yourself, right? So, being disciplined means, for example, and I love to give this example, setting yourself in the evening a timer for when you should go to bed, that at one point you don't need an alarm in the morning because you will wake up naturally because you were so disciplined to go early to bed, to not skip your evening wind down, to set an alarm for when you should have latest your evening meal so you will sleep better, right? And of course, these things might feel at the beginning a little bit hard, right? This is where we need to have the discipline. However, you need to understand that when you are disciplined, it will not harm you, it will help you. And it will help you to then achieve your goals, and it will then help you to really live the life that you are here for to live and that you would like to live, right? So when you are already very happy in your life and very, very fulfilled, right? And if you feel, wow, I'm actually living with so much inner peace, then I am pretty sure that you are, without knowing or maybe knowing, a very disciplined person. A very disciplined person. There is a reason that in yoga we do say that when you practice the path of one of these each yamas and niyamas, right? How we talked already, for example, about nonviolence, about being truthful, about not allowing yourself to be attached to certain things, right? About energy management, right? About purification, about all these things. Now, I hope that you have already the overview how interconnected they all are. And of course, discipline is such an important step in all of them. And when you are disciplined in your life, it is a path to enlightenment. It is a path of freeing yourself, freeing your soul, because by training this muscle in yourself, by activating this inner fire that sits in your solar plexus, right? In your third energy center, your Manipura energy, as we say in yoga. By that, you will really clear everything that is between you and your future self. So, summarizing discipline, discipline means having the ability to really build this muscle in yourself that helps you to be very aware in certain moments, to be very conscious in certain moments, to make the best and right decision for you, and very often for the people around you. However, we will start with yourself. We will come back to yourself that when you are disciplined or when you want to be disciplined, you need to, of course, start with yourself. And as you might guess, what I would recommend you if you want to build a discipline, you should find a way of structuring your day, right? If you say you are really a person that doesn't need the structure, that needs to, you know, go a little bit, more with flow through the life, then I am just not the right person who can give you here the right, recommendations or the right suggestions, because I just love my routines. I believe that we human we human beings, we are connected to the nature. We are living in cycles. So I just create my life and my week by the planetary days. I will also speak with you once about them here. I just structure my day. I structure my whole week, my month. I already told you that I have, even a 10-year plan about my goals, my visions. And they haven't been there, of course, all my life, right? When I was younger, I just knew that what I'm doing now doesn't feel right. And I had a feeling, a glimpse of what I would like to do, but nothing really visual was there to grasp, like even not a vision. However, somehow the vision was somewhere in my system. And this is what I want to tell you. Maybe you now don't know what is my mission, what does success really mean for me, what do I want to make with my life. I just know how to survive this day. And this is fine. But let me tell you that what you're here for is already imprinted in you. It sits already in you. And with the right discipline, you are able to figure it out. And that means when you look at yourself, that you need to find ways how to connect to yourself. And this can be and start, of course, by how do you spend your morning? How do you structure your day? How do you structure your week? And that doesn't mean that you have to plan your week absolutely full. It just means that you can plan your week where you also make time for self exploration, self development, right? Like space for self realization. And what do I mean with that? Not having so many input the whole time from the outside. Can you plan a walk in that you just do only with yourself? Can you plan once a month, maybe a ritual in, like a new moon ritual or a full moon ritual? Can you plan some breaks into your week? Can you commit yourself of reading a new inspiring book or listening to a new audiobook, right? We all have these tools that are available for us, but we have to be so disciplined to make the decision, to make time for them, to start then with all those things, right? And I really often observe that some people very often, say that they know that they would be good for them. They know how should they eat. They know what they should do. They know what they should read. They know they should get earlier to bed or earlier up. But then it's really, they really struggle. They really struggle with the discipline. So how can we build that? Like, where do we start? And we start in the morning. We start before our mind is trying to negotiate with us about different things. We are starting with our morning routine. We are starting with the things we committed ourselves before to do them. And the important thing is that if you want to build discipline, you keep on doing the things, even if at one point they get boring or at one point they get intense, right? Like you build the discipline by going through those loops, by going through those waves, and by not giving up and becoming passive and not doing something, right? Like it depends on, of course, if you need, for example, more discipline in a way of motivation. And let's say you are, for example, down, you are in bed, you're struggling to get up, of course, then you need to be so disciplined to make in the evening the right decisions of preparing the right environment already around you, that you have it easier for getting up early, right? And that means going to bed earlier, having a having an evening routine and setting yourself an alarm in the morning. And then when you hear the alarm, right, you count down like 4, 5, 3, 2, 1, and then you get up, right? Like you don't negotiate with yourself if you should stay longer in bed or not. Why should you not get up? Like you build the discipline of just getting out of bed. And by building this one habit, it could also be, of course, something else you're working on in your life in the moment. And then you build this one habit, and by that, you will have the ripple effect of all the other things you want to achieve. So, showing up for your practice regardless of your mood, right? And if you have been out of any practice, right, then it's very important to come back to it and not to feel guilty or guilt trip yourself and say, okay, today is a new day and today I'm just starting again. So it is really about us learning when to say yes to things and when to say no to things, and having here our right boundaries in place. Because sometimes the discipline is also to do less and to say, okay, today I'm really not having a good day. If you're a woman, for example, let's say you are on your cycle, on your period. Also, if you're a man and you feel like this is just like not your day, or something happened, something personal is going on in your life, right? Then it just makes also sense to have the right discipline to say, I'm not boxing myself today through the things. I just, for example, make the priority of 1, 2, 3 things that needs to be done today, that I really cannot skip. Like, for example, picking up my kids from school, or if it's something very important in your work life, right? And then you schedule the rest to the day after. I personally had yesterday such a day like that, right? They just started from the morning. Like in Germany, we say when you wake up with the left foot. And I was even doing my practice, but I even felt my practice was rushed. It didn't felt like so good as on other days. And I just felt like it was really from the moment I woke up, like just so many things happened. I just woke up and my cats in the night throw up the flowers and the water was on the laptop. So both of the laptops of my boyfriend and me were completely covered in water. He is even still today, like his laptop isn't working yet because like it was really damaged. So those things happen in our life, right? And very often when we are really already in something and we think, okay, like now things start to change or become better, or when you think, oh my God, I'm in the middle of the chaos, something else happens. It's not only in your life, right? You need to understand that life is happening to all of us. Like you don't have it easier or harder than anyone else. Even if your mind will tell you, no, 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 it's not like that. And of course, she has it easier because of this, or he has it easier because of that. No, right? It's the same for us, if you believe it or not. Like it's the same life experience, different, but same. And so I made then yesterday the decision later and said, okay, these are the points I want to finish, and these are the points I will finish today, and the rest I will do tomorrow, right? And today I just felt so much more energized. It was such an, great and amazing day. And then I could continue with the other things, and the day was very different. So, what brings us here to the discipline? When do we say yes to things? When do we say no to things? And by training yourself for these things, and when you experience then the benefit your discipline, your tapas had on your life, that will really then that will really then, this, this positive event that took place then will always be such a such an anchor in your body that you know that it's worth it to be disciplined, that it's worth it maybe to stop after the first glass of wine and not have the second or the third one, because you know that you will struggle on the next day, right? To say maybe no to the cake or to the second cake or whatever it is in your life. Saying no for dating this very toxic person, right? Saying no to this maybe very successful offer in a job where you know, wow, but this is really not the right working environment for me. So we can get tested in the discipline in so many ways. Again, it's about the decisions we are making and not really about what we are doing. And this is when we're looking now at our yoga practice on the mat, on in our day to day life, what we learn and what we learn, for example, in Kundalini yoga, how important it is to build this resilience in your body. Of course, I mean, I also couldn't sit from the beginning comfortable in a cross leg position, right? I also over years built the flexibility in my hips that's for me like now like like sitting cross legs is the same as standing or sitting like this, right? Like no difference. And that is the same way what we learn in yoga of having patience, right? Of accepting our body as our body is when we start a practice, accepting how long we can hold a posture, how flexible our body is in a posture, how long we can hold our breath, how many thoughts we are having when we are practicing, right? And this is also what a practice does. It clears our subconscious mind. And this is why everything comes up, right? Staying in meditation. Of course, do you think it's always fun for me, for example, to meditate in the evening or the morning, or to sit down again and to clear my mind? And it's always so peaceful how it might look on the outside. Of course not. But I just observed over a couple of, years now, how my life changed by me to sticking to something. And for me, in my life, very personal, it is my morning practice, it is my sadhana. And this is really an anchor of how I'm starting my day, how I'm moving my body, how I'm breathing, about what I'm meditating, about how I'm clearing all the trauma out of my system, and which affirmations I am speaking through my day. And my day is my life. And this was the most powerful anchor that I built in the past years, and that I can really just recommend from my life experience to everyone, that this is really helping you to have a regulated nervous system, and by building this self discipline to yourself. And of course, it can be also other things, right? But if we have this discipline ourselves, it will help us to make the right decisions that we need in our day to day life to build then, yes, a better life. So, what does discipline means then if it comes to other people? Maybe you just want to think about it. How is my relationship or the discipline in my relationship affecting even my relationship to other people, right? And we can view that point from so many different perspectives. At first, we need to understand that when it comes to our relationships, we need to make the effort. We need to make the right choices, right? So that means we need to have the discipline of having those conversations that we might would want to avoid, right? We need to have the discipline to have those conversations. We need to have the discipline in our relationships to others and to other things, to be very honest, to really look what is benefiting my life, what is really harming my life, and where do I have to set the right boundaries of maybe communicating also if I would like to be closer with certain people, or communicating if I need more of a distance to certain things, right? And If we are in a bad loop, let's say we are struggling in toxic relationships, like maybe let's say like in your working environment or even with some friends, then it takes you what? It takes you the discipline to break the pattern and to make the right decision, to make the right step, to be, of course, at first honest to yourself and say, why am I still hanging out with this person? Why am I actually still doing that? Right? And why is it so hard to get out? And by changing that, what will help you? If you focus at first to yourself, on yourself. I'm sure that so many of you, I guess you guess already, oh my God, I can't hear it anymore, right? Of thinking, do your practice and everything will follow. But it is like that. Like we have to do the practice. And of course, our life is the practice. Our relationships are the practice. But in the end, it comes always to this decision. And for me, the the for me the niyama of tapas, right, goes so hand in hand with satya, right? Like with being truthful. Because if you, for example, say, okay, but okay, I know now all these points, I heard about it already, but how can I do it now? How can I become now disciplined? For that, you need to be very honest. And this is also why, I mean, I don't know if the order of the yamas and the niyamas in yoga, right? Like because tapas is quite at the end, right? If it has something to do like because of how hard it is like to go through them, I don't know. I actually don't think that it means that, but it makes sense that only if we are very honest to ourselves, only then we will be able to be disciplined. Because if you are not truthful to yourself, you will never wake up from this illusion and say, oh, well, yes, I need this discipline. Like, I'm really procrastinating things in my life. I'm really living a life that is not suiting me. I really have a habit that is really not benefiting me. Let's say, you know, you are an alcoholic, or you have a person with an alcohol problem in your family. Very often the people, before they see that they have a problem, they are in absolute denial. They are in absolute denial. So how should someone take the discipline on to, for example, get themselves out of the alcohol addiction if they don't say, I'm an alcoholic? You need at first to be so truthful. I'm an alcoholic. Oh, I'm a liar. Oh, I'm a cheater. Oh, and of course, we need to be careful, right? This was maybe not the right thing, very yogic to phrase it, to say, like, I am that, because we are, of course, not. We are so much more, right? So the right framing would be, yes, I drink too much alcohol and I do lie too often and I did cheated in my relationship, right? Or I am very violent, right? Like, is it physical or is it verbal? I mean, believe me, if you have, for example, parents that have been physical violent, it could even be that if you talk with them about that they would deny it. They would say, oh no, I didn't slap you. Because very often when people are also in those patterns, they are absolutely traumatized. Sometimes if your partner gaslights you, or you think you're with an absolute narcissist in a relationship, this person is very often very traumatized. And when you're then in a trigger where you both mirror, of course, also things of each other up, and then it's just like a very triggerful situation. Yes, like very, like I experienced that in my personal life with people I interacted with, that either it was me or the opposite person that we both said in different scenarios, then, oh no, I didn't did that. Right. And that just means that, yeah, sometimes we are in such a denial. It's so deep rooted in our subconscious mind that this is what I mean. We need the first self-reflection and we need the honesty to then build the discipline. So Satya and Tapas are Satya and Tapas are going very, very, very strong together. So truthfulness and the discipline go very, very close together. And that brings me to the third point, to your mission, right? Like to your life purpose, to the job you want to choose, right? Like to, yeah, really your vision, your mission, the life you're here for, right? Like, how can discipline really help us more in that area? And of course, I'm sure you already answered that question to yourself, is that, of course, like when we have to be, we have to be disciplined to make the first steps to go into the direction we want to go. And what you experience in, or what you will see in your vision or in your mission on your soul path, is a direct reflection of the relationship you have to yourself and the relationship you have to others. Because no matter what you do, no matter where you work, it's always you in your life, how you show up for yourself, and you will always interact with people. No matter in which city, in which country, if it's online, offline, right? We will always be surrounded by other people. So, how, let's say, how content you will feel in your mission at one day, it will be a reflection of the relationship you have to yourself and the relationship that you have to other people, right? Like this will be your mission. No matter what you do, these are the two main pillars of your mission, you and the others, right? And how can we now really either find out, as I spoke earlier about, like, how can we now either find out, okay, why am I here for? What do I want to do? Or how can we change our life direction? And what are the non-negotiable steps that you have to do right now and today when you stop listening to the episode? So, at first, as I said, be very honest to yourself. Be very honest to yourself. Start at first with a self reflection. Either you talk to someone, to a friend, or you journal about it, right? You self study yourself. This is what about you will speak in the next episode. Svadhyaya, how we say in yoga. And you need to self study yourself. You need to self study yourself and see it first. Okay, honest reflection. What do I want? What do I want to change? To what do I want to say more yes? And to what do I want to say more no? Okay. And then start small. Be honest to yourself and start with a structure. You should have a plan, right? And by plan, I mean a plan is already knowing to what you want to say yes to and knowing what you want to say no to. It doesn't have to be the plan of, okay, how am I structuring now exactly my day in my life? No to what do you want to say yes to and no to what do you want to say no to. And then this is your plan. You can, of course, go deeper into the exploration of your plan. And yes, look, what do you need to do today when you stop listening to this podcast episode? What do you want to do this evening? Okay. Do you want to already get a paper out and write down? Maybe you just want to do this right now here with me together. Just open your phone, right? Like open your phone, get into your notes section, go into your notes, open a new folder, and let's call this the Tapas discipline plan. Just do it right now with me. Come on. If you don't have the discipline now, I'm not sure if you will have it later. So, no excuses. This is already, see, this is already how you trick your mind. You took the effort of opening this episode because I'm pretty sure you are interested in building more discipline. And now, in this very right moment, you have a choice that takes you like really not much time because you anyway listening to what I'm saying. So overcome this resistance now in your body and all the thoughts that maybe already arise, right? And take out a paper or take out your phone and write down Tapas discipline plan. Come on. And then I want you to write down. So, Tapas discipline plan. I have it here on my phone. You can see it. If not, it also doesn't matter. And then write down or on your paper, no more and way more. And this is it, okay? The rest you can do later. If you want, you can also fill some things out right now. No more what and way more. Where do you want to show up way more boldly, right? We're still, right? We started with a very strong year of the firehouse, right? Don't forget that. And no more what, right? And for both of them, right, we are already in the year of the fire hose, right? Like it's already the year of tapas, right? Like here having this inner fire, what is ready to get burned out of your life? And from what do you want more? And this is your plan. Okay. And when you clear then about those things, let's say, for example, you say no more fast food. For example, let's say, for example, you live in a place where you can order over your phone a lot of food, right? This goes in a lot of, big cities, like in Germany, we have this as well, in Stuttgart, Berlin, right? Here, of course, in Dubai, oh my gosh, I mean, you can order everything from the app. Then, for example, delete the delivery app, right? Do the right steps. At first, you have to create then the right environment for these things, right? For example, delete an app if you have a social media problem. Yes, you can do delete the app. But we spoke last time about it, that I am saying I'm not recommending in that way immediately like deleting the app. But for the first part, it can help, right? For the first step, yes, it might do help. But very often we come then very extremely back to it. But yeah, let's start. So, for example, deleting then the app, right? And then it's just very important, okay, make the right environment for things. If you, best thing, yes, like this would be something way more effective. If you don't want to watch more Netflix, cancel today your Netflix subscription. Cancel it. No excuses, right? Like cancel the Netflix subscription, right? And cancel the Netflix subscription. And then it will become so way more easy. So you need to create the right environment, right? And then maybe a next step, if you have a TV in your home, if you really want to change of not watching so much TV, remove the TV, put a bookshelf to it, right? Like create the right environment for yourself. If you want to say yes more for more social activities, call a friend, schedule an appointment. If you want to create more time for yourself, right? Like book the massage, book the yoga retreat, book a class, right? Like book the nail appointment, right? Whatever it is. Or book an appointment where you explore a beautiful bath at your home and you do the nails on your own, or you know, just do something good for yourself, right? Like, so be a bit creative with that process, right? Like no more to what and yes to what else, right? And this can be your plan. And then you look into, as I said today, like that you can do this today. And then you, of course, look, okay, what is it on a daily basis? Do I need to go earlier to bed? Like, do I want to have then, our evening routine? What can I do first in the morning, right? Like, for example, definitely not using your phone in the morning, not checking the news, not checking the mails, right? So, depending on where you are on your journey, you just challenge yourself there and level up from that place. And what is then, of course, very important is that then when you have the plan, when you arrange your environment, that you try to help yourself to be less distracted as possible. But this is what I mean with, arranging your environment around you. And then, of course, knowing that don't give up immediately. Don't expect also to see results immediately, right? Give yourself the time, right? Like there is this beautiful saying that people very often expect too many things that might happen in 1 year, but they underestimate what they are able to do in 10 years. And only through a dedicated behavior and decisions you make again and again and again, and you repeat them, even if they are hard, even if they are good, even if it's boring. This is how you create a habit. And this is then also how you created a habit of discipline, right? And if you ever feel that you really did everything that you could in your hands to be disciplined, but it really doesn't work, like if it's really a situation in your life where you feel, oh my God, there is a pattern that is not coming from me because I do everything, but this habit or this addiction comes back, then I want to remind you that in Kyo Yoga, in my work, I'm also offering family constellations. I'm also offering one-on-one family constellations, and that this might be something that you wanted to explore then in a personal session with me. Know why you are doing it. Know your intention, right? Like, know your why. Know that you do certain things, like you should do all the things for you, right? Like, even if you think, oh, I'm doing this for my children, you should do the things for you, right? Because you, for example, want to see your children happy, right? So always bring a reason back to you, right? Like, what is your why? What is your intention? And if you have that in front of you, you can also support yourself by, if you have, for example, then your goals, right? Through vision boards, through visual pictures that support you to stay consistent, right? And yes, I really hope that gave you today more clarity, more inspiration. And if you have any tip that helped you in being disciplined, then share it with the community, share it with myself, and write it in the comments. Or if you would like to, share something more private, you're always welcome to just drop me a DM or drop me a message, and say maybe also with what specifically you struggled with. And then I'm also, taking always your messages and bringing things in back to the podcast show. And yes, guys, I hope you took, as I said, a lot of out of this today with you, and think about what you want to see more, think about from what you want to see less. And I see you in the next episode here. Namaste, Satnam, and all the best.